just sitting here at the table having a general conversation on the past and what we've been through, just for the heck of it. It's a nice spring day. The sun is out, nice and bright. A little chilly, but nice day. So Bill and I kind of want to get our thoughts together on what we've been through and perhaps talk about the good old days, quote unquote. But see, I had my heart attack on February the 12th, 1976. I was in the hospital for 18 days. 8 days in coronary care. An experience I'll never forget. I lost 42 pounds. I'm all the better for it because in this learning process, evidently it takes something like this to put a little common sense in your head on what is good and what is not good for you. And I was great on the junk foods, and I was overweight and knew it. Unfortunately, with most people, as long as they think they feel okay, there's nothing wrong with them. And they'll never listen to you. It's just like the reformed smoker. He can go out and preach the good of how much better he feels by not smoking, but the guy that smokes makes no difference to him. So we try to crusade, but it has to happen, unfortunately, to the other guy for him to really realize what life is worth. Because I was gone, and now that I've been through it, and I see the other side now, I know there's a difference. Okay, now Bill, when was it you had your heart attack? October?
Yeah, first part of October in
78. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Except we had a different type than you did.
Mine was a coronary occlusion.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yours was
oh Jesus! It was a
angina.
Yeah, which is basically a clot which got in and stopped this part of the artery.
Yeah.
And so knocked it off.
Yeah. How long were you in the hospital?
Well, see, I don't even know when it happened. They didn't. They thought things were wrong. So
it could have happened a few days before.
Yeah, it could have happened before that, and it didn't. Yeah, I could feel during a period of time that something was wrong, which is why I went back to see the doctor, which I usually go in to see once every 6 months anyway. But something had happened, so I went in to see him, and he talked in another doctor in that had something to do about hearts. So they took me in and checked me on quite a few things, and
Gave you an EKG.
yeah, the whole bit, you know. And yeah, like you, I was overweight, smoked, loved it, and so then they decided I better go into the hospital to check out a few things, put me into expensive care.
Intensive care.
Well, the same thing.
Yeah.
So there you go. But anyway, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
But so I got in there, and I was in kind of a hurry to get things done. I got a new job, for one thing, in the first day of October. So then all of a sudden this damn thing happened, which is Well, it wasn't figuring on that. So I found out I was all right, and nobody knew for sure when it happened, but I seemed to be coming along all right. So I kind of talked him and let me get out. See? So I did. I left. Got the job done.
Okay, but
So,
before this happened, did you by any chance have pains in your arms or?
There were indications from here and there. Yeah, no big deal. Just slow down a little bit, and I'd feel okay.
Okay,
No big deal. Not real bad.
Do you remember years and years ago? I'd say it was back in the early to mid 30s when Dad would mention on occasion that when he was walking home from the office that he'd get a pain in his arm.
Yeah, in fact, he stopped a couple of times.
He would
sit
stop
down.
and it would go away, and then he'd continue walking,
Yeah.
and he never did a thing about it.
Yeah,
Of course, in those days, there really wasn't that much known. But
at least we didn't know about it.
now that he's gone, and the series of hospital stays that he had before he died, the examination and x-rays have indicated that he had heart damage and he evidently had a heart attack.
Yeah, that's
He
the
had a heart
indication.
attack
was.
back in that time, and it's really amazing that this guy went on as long as he did.
That's
and
right.
lived to be 85. Okay, to get back on your story again. So, after their examination of you, and they put you on some medication, and
Yeah, to thin the blood
yeah,
partly. Of course, the doctor that I had, which is a woman, in somewhere in her early 30s, indicated that all men particularly more than women, should take a couple of
aspirin.
aspirin, every day. Say, well, I couldn't take that. I'm kind of I'm not, I can't do it. I can't take it. Those jobs. So,
Okay.
there you go. Yeah. So they gave me something else. See, they gave me something else to thin my blood. And then strongly suggested that I stay away from smoking, which I had done for over 35 years, and probably enjoyed every puff. I thought it was terrific. So I suggested to the doctor at the time, I said, damn it, you're just every other doctor. You're trying to blame it on something, and you found out all of a sudden I smoke, see? And I said, Christ, I've been doing it for years. And she says, that's probably part of your problem. You know, he did
Been doing it for years, yeah.
But she says, tell you what, I won't tell you have to. And she says, if you quit, I can't even Jesus Christ, guarantee that you won't get another heart attack problem. Yeah. But she says, if you do keep right on smoking, I could guarantee that you will get one. See, and I figured, well, that's a pretty good idea. You know, then I'd do it. By the way, did you have any problem stopping the smoking?
Nope.
Did you?
Nope.
I was amazed I didn't have any problem. Oh, I like it. You know, I enjoyed it.
Well,
in fact, I'd still like to. It just makes a little bit more sense that I don't do
I
it.
smoked cigarettes for about 25 years, and then I quit smoking for about something like 5 years. And that's when I started having my weight problem. So that's when I started smoking the pipe. And I guess I smoked the pipe for about 6 or 8 years. And all I can say is I burned a hell of a lot of tobacco. I didn't inhale it. I enjoyed it, but it got to be an awful nervous habit.
Mm-hmm.
So when I had the heart attack, that's it, man. Anything that I felt contributed in any way to my problem over the years was an enemy of mine, and I much preferred now to live.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt that these little things that I enjoyed, quote, were no longer that important.
Yeah.
So, because I wanted to live, all of a sudden I seemed to look at things a lot different and realized that life was passing me by, and there's a lot of things that I wanted to do that I hadn't done, and therefore, actually today when somebody is sitting here and is smoking, it's really nauseating.
It is. I enjoy it.
Positively.
In fact, I just wish they'd some to my way. Really, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every minute of it. Now,
Yeah.
I know maybe...
But does it bother you now to smoke?
No. No, in fact, I like it. If somebody wants to take to smoke in front of me, that's nice. Just let me have part of it, you know. I won't smoke it myself, but it smells pretty good. Smells pretty.
Okay, now.
No, I probably shouldn't say that, but God damn it, it was pretty good. And along with...
To continue our story.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, neither one of us are smoking anymore.
No, not really.
And I'm very happy that none of our kids smoke. I'll tell you.
Yeah. They don't do that either.
You may have detected in the conversation here that Bill's got a little speech problem, and that's because, unfortunately, he had a slight stroke. And when was this, Bill?
That was April the 11th.
April the 11th.
79.
And you were in Sheboygan, Wisconsin on business, right?
Yeah.
When this happened.
Yeah, in fact, I woke up one morning, that morning, at the motel. Now, I don't wake up that way in the morning, you know, but I did that morning, and I felt all right. And had something to eat about 7:30 in the morning, 7:30 to 8, because I made some telephones to make telephone calls that morning, starting about 8 o'clock. And I was all done and getting ready to go on to the car. Everything's put in the bag. Yeah, the whole bit. And then all of a sudden I dropped my pen and hit on the ground, or the floor. And it feels kind of strange. It just felt kind of funny, like you were in a...
Lightheaded or something? Or just kind of a numb feeling?
Well, it was kind of like
Faint?
you're in a... No, not even that. Kind of like you were... something inside, you were talking like in a barrel, you know? Which was real weird. Mm-hmm. So I leaned over to get the pen, and I couldn't pick it up. Couldn't pick it up with my right hand. So I got down on my knee and found out I ended up on 2 knees. I was on both of them. So I still couldn't pick it up with my right hand, so I picked it up with my left hand. And then I remember now thinking this, which is amazing, but the first thing I said to myself was, son of a bitch. Well, I didn't know it, but I found out that most people, after having had a stroke, they can swear, even though they never have sworn before. They'll say something, they can swear, and they can make it. Maybe they can't say anything else, but they can curse. You know, of course, I never had trouble cussing anyway. But anyway, so I knew something was wrong, but didn't know what it was. So I sat around and I found out I had some stuff that I was talking on the telephone to. I had my file with me, but I couldn't put it in the file because I couldn't, which was A, B, C, D, E, F. I couldn't tell one from the other. I didn't know how to put it in there, and then I couldn't even make it in the file anyway. So things just didn't make sense, and I couldn't call a number on the telephone. I couldn't one number from the other. I couldn't tell one from the other, and it didn't make sense that I knew I knew where it was, where it should have been, but it didn't work out. Now it's a strange thing to talk about, but it didn't make a damn bit of sense. I could not put a finger in the dial.
Right dial.
It wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I went on out to the. I sat on the bed a little bit. Still couldn't figure it out. So I went outside the door, and there was a couple of ladies outside getting ready to clean the place. Yeah. So I went up to one of them, and I tried to let her know that I couldn't talk. See, and I was wondering if I could get some help. And I think I scared the hell out of her. She taken off down the hall. See, and I figured, my God. Reasonably, maybe she runs other people like that in the morning. I've never done that in the morning, but maybe other people do. So anyway, I couldn't get her, but another woman did take off and go to see the manager. He came out, and he was an ex-cop, and I don't know if he knew what was going on or not, but he made sure I sat down, and he tried to say a couple of things, but he knew I couldn't say it, so he called the
Paramedics?
Yeah. Squad, the rescue squad. So they took me off real quick to a hospital. And I got in there real quick in the emergency room. Asked him who my name was. Some bitch, I knew it was, but I couldn't tell him. I couldn't get across. I could not. It's a weird, strange feeling, And they said, okay, now where are you from? I didn't know where the hell I was from. I knew in my head where I was from, and I knew that. Say it. Yeah, and I couldn't even say anything. Made no sense at all. And they said, okay, how old are you? I didn't know. All I could do was just say no. I could not say it, and I couldn't even remember that I had my billfold in my number, in my pocket. So they remembered that, and they looked around and found it, and then gave it to me so that they took over, because I couldn't have read it anyway. But they took off from there, and then that's when they called you, because I had your card in my. Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah.
My God. Anyway, I had your name and card in my, and they couldn't find Sue. Now, I knew where she lived, and I knew where she worked. I knew what her phone numbers and everything. I'll be damned if I could say it, I just could not put it through.
But all that information was in your coat pocket.
Yeah. Well, it was in my bill.
Oh, in your briefcase.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all that stuff was there.
But my business card was in your billfold, and that's why they called me.
Yeah.
Well, when I got that call from the hospital in Sheboygan, they asked me if I was so-and-so and if you were my brother, and I said, yeah. Well, right away I knew that some kind of a problem was going on.
Yeah, I never got to ask you about that, yeah.
And then she explained what the circumstances were.
Did they tell you that I had
yeah, they said they didn't know all this for sure, but they've got you in intensive care, and
expensive.
You're being monitored, and that they're checking everything out, but they felt that you'd had a slight stroke, and they wanted to know where to get a hold of Sue and whatnot. And this is where I really goofed up, because I knew that Sue worked for the government, but I wasn't sure. State, city, county, or what, and all I could do was give them generalities in Sun Prairie, and that's when they traced it from there.
Well,
and they found her.
Well, I wondered how you got a hold of her.
Yeah.
Because,
okay, now how long were you were in there, what, about 2 or 3 days, right?
Well, they had me in expensive care. Yeah, that room. for a year, for a week. They found it on one day. One day is what I'm sorry. This is part of screwed up my head, you see. Anyway, so I was in there for a day. And then they moved me on 3 more days in another room. So then I left in about 4 weeks. 4 days. I came on back to Sun Prairie, which I couldn't have even said at that time. And then the doctor, that was on a Saturday, so I talked to the doctor Monday. So I came home, which was, that was at Easter Sunday. Monday then I talked to the doctor and they kind of checked things out and made sure I better get back in Madison here to the hospital. So I was there for about 10 days. And then from that on, they seemed to be a little bit better off. I was thinking a little bit better, and I'm still not there yet, but able to talk a little better and a few other things. But it took a while.
Well, I guess I talked to the nurse in Sheboygan 2 or 3 times.
I think you did.
And then the last time, she says, "Well, hold on a minute, and I'll transfer you." And I couldn't believe that you'd be able to talk. And I'll tell you, it was a real thrill to be able to talk to you.
Well, I'll be damned.
Well, hey, I didn't expect this because I didn't know what to look forward to. And of course, now you've got your speech problem, but now looking back over it, when you first had this problem, when I first talked to you, it was kind of a problem. But today, and the few times that I've talked to you since, I can see one heck of an improvement. Of course, you're living with it, and it's frustrating, but it's just going to be a matter of time and patience to overcome it.
But no, it's happened. It's been easier for me. I screw things up quite a bit, but. So anyway, I know I've been luckier than the devil. In fact, I was talking to Charlie. He's caught me at least once a week since this thing happened, and he and Bonnie have called about me, and talking to him the other day, and was telling him about how lucky I've been. Of course, with the idea of the heart problem, and then given away with this thing too, this stroke. So I know I've been lucky, but I don't know if I can take much more of that good luck. I'm being a little bit facetious. I'm playing around a little bit there, but I just soon not do any more with that. I don't want any more of that at all. So they have done work on me now, cut me down some eating a little more than I did before, and as you mentioned, when you had the problem with the heart, they got them about they were talking to you about eating too much, which is the same thing I did, and of course I'm not smoking anymore. Of course, between that, we're not smoking anymore, and we never have real big in drinking.
No.
And now they're taking away the eating. What the hell's left?
Yeah.
But I guess people have lived without it, so I guess we're going to find it.
It's all a matter of really looking at the whole picture now, and at our age especially, and realizing the real value of life. And I can see where young people, they go along day by day, and they figure, well, they're years and years and years from any problems. They'll worry about it tomorrow or when it happens, but these things don't happen overnight. It takes years to build up these problems. So that's what we're faced with. We had to stop temporarily to cut out a little lawnmower noise. Anywho, Bill and I both feel that there's no doubt we are very fortunate to be alive, and we both want to live a few more years, because there's a lot to life that you look forward to now that you just took for granted before, and we still feel that there's a lot of years ahead yet, and nobody wants to die young. All right, since we've both had our problems, on the 8th of May, which was just a few short days ago, our cousin Vance Henry, 54 years old in March, died of emphysema. I had a phone call from Vance's brother Nelson, and I thought sure that this was about his mother, Kathleen, because she has been in a home with hardening of the arteries, and she's in pretty bad shape. She has no control over her body functions. She can't walk, and she can't do anything for herself. Sometimes she has a clear mind, and other times she doesn't. So this is what I thought had happened, but he told me it's about his brother. Now, I knew that Vance had emphysema. In fact, this is what his father died with in 1968. His father was a heavy smoker, and so was Vance Jr. I can't say that this is entirely due to smoking, but I'm sure again in here that smoking has had a lot to promote the problem. And Vance evidently in the last year to year and a half, his problem had gotten worse, and he was having a pretty bad time in breathing, and he would go to the hospital for treatments, and when they told him finally that he was going downhill, he quit smoking immediately. But then, it was all too late for him. And he had planned to go to North Carolina to visit his mother again, and when this happened, Nelson told me that they didn't know how they were going to tell his mother, or if they should. But a relative and a nurse told Kathleen that Vance wouldn't be coming home because he was quite ill, and in fact he passed away. And I talked to Leah on the phone about 2 days later, and she told me that Kathleen had done an awful lot of crying, that neither one of them went to the funeral, but they took Kathleen to the funeral home in the ambulance because she wanted to see him once more. And they put her in there in a wheelchair, and she went up and looked at him and felt his face and his hair, and they showed her the flowers and whatnot, and that was it. So here you go. Vance was 54, and he's gone. So here again, it just points out how fortunate Bill and I feel that we're still here. And here our sister was only 44 when she died of cancer in 1963. And our mother was only 51 when she had her stroke in 1946. So you stop and look at both of these happenings in our immediate family, it really makes you stop and think.
Yeah, and we both lived longer than Liv or Mom.
Yep.
Either one.
Yep.
So yeah, we have been kind of lucky.
Sure have. I want a few more years, don't you?
Well, there's a few things I might miss. So that's it's the darndest thing. Most people look forward to looking for more
I'm not sure if the other side of this tape was recorded to begin with, so just for the record, let me say once more, this is, we're up in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. Bill's house. Shirley and I came up here. This is the 19th of May, 1979. And we just came up for a visit. So Bill and I are sitting around doing our thing. Okay, now get back to that other tape when we were chopped off here. What was your thought now, Bill?
Well, I was just starting to say that the most thing that most people look forward to going to heaven, it's just that we don't want to die to go there. But that was the main idea, to try to get across.
Yeah.
So we weren't lucky. We know it. And it's a lot of things we would like to see yet.
And do.
Yeah, and do. So I guess we just don't want to give it up yet.
No.
That's the main thing we're after.
Well, I'll tell you, when I first went to the hospital, I can remember when I was passing out, because they put the defibrillators on me 8 times, and as I was passing out, my life passed before me. You've heard things like this, but the strange thing was that my part was just like a real fast movie reel going backwards. And I can see myself as a little boy, but now I can't recall any real vivid pictures or anything, but that's just the way that it wound backwards. And the next thing I knew, they had brought me to, and I'd say, what happened? And they say, well, you passed out again. So,
you saw this go through your life?
This, yeah, this is the way I saw
Well,
it.
I'll be darned. Have you ever run into this? I've heard of other people too, similar type of things.
Yeah.
Maybe not this, but where they had a big light or music or something on that order that they could hear about?
No.
Remember?
No.
But you did the whole...
Each
life.
time that I passed out, it just took me back to childhood, and it was really strange. It happened fast. And
You mean you could remember the rest? Well, not that, we were just going fast.
I can't recall any...
But you don't know any part of it that you
specific
remember. While
things.
were you there as a kid?
No,
or?
all I can remember is that I just saw myself getting smaller and smaller. And the last time that I passed out, the defibrillators wouldn't do the job. And this is the time that the doctor had to cut the artery in my neck and put the pacemaker down in my heart, and that's the only thing that saved me.
You never told me that.
No.
I didn't know that.
If it hadn't have been for that, or if this would have happened, say, 5 years earlier, I wouldn't be here.
Well, I'll be son of a gun.
This is just what has happened with the progress in, we'll say, knowledge of what to do and how to do it.
Well, I'll be darned.
So that's the way it
Well, no,
is.
I knew that you had problem, or you know, they put this they hit you on the head, or yeah, they hit you where the heart
Electric
was.
shocks.
Yeah, but I didn't know you were that had gone that far with it too. I knew it wasn't any easy, but
Yeah. Yeah.
well, I'll be a son of a gun.
Yep, that's the way it was. And so, anywho, we've recorded this for posterity, just for the heck of it. We've got a nice day, and once again, man, I say I really like this house.
Well, I appreciate that.
And I wish I had your basement with all the things that I could do that I've wanted to do for years, and just never had the space to do it.
Yeah, this is a heck of a note. I've had to.
It's a little late now to do it.
Well, I don't know about that. What I've happened has been slowed up a little bit. I hope to, with a little bit of help, I'll get back to it one of these days again. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of work. But Sue and I both enjoy it very much here. Of course, we kind of go for the for the state too.
Yeah.
And with a day like today, it kind of talks people into liking it.
Yeah.
But we don't like too many people to know how good a state this is. We're afraid too many people will come around. But it is nice, beautiful day.
Well, I know there's a lot of people in Illinois that have a second home up here,
Yeah, they do.
and they come up here every chance they get because they think it's one of the prettiest states in the country.
Yeah. Of course, Johnny feels that about
California,
yeah, that one. So, and I guess he does have both of them have a few ideas of what that is about that. It is real nice, I guess. But we'll get him over here one of these times and see what it's like.
Well, right now, the whole country is facing a gasoline crunch, and we feel it, but nothing like California's got
No,
it.
no.
So there are problems,
Yeah.
lots of them.
I know Cheryl, well, Shirley was here this morning too. But I mean, when Rick and Kathy have been around, they kind of liked it, and Kathy lived here for a while.
Mm-hmm.
With a little bit of luck, they might come this way sometime soon
Yeah,
if things work out for them.
yeah.
Shell, I don't know whether she kind of likes it down in Florida. So I don't know what the situation is there.
Yeah.
And of course, your boys, you got them all over the place too.
Oh, yeah. They're scattered. Gary's still lives nearby in Mount Prospect, and Jack is out in Nebraska. He's been out there several years, and Bob is still in the service, making a career of it, and he's in Arizona. And I guess sometime next year, he's going to have to take another overseas assignment somewhere. Right now, he thinks it might be Korea, and he'll be all by himself. None of the family can go with him. This is one of their requirements for career service that you must do. So,
How about Mike?
no. Well, Mike, for this particular year, will have to stay with Barbara in Tucson. I don't know what kind of arrangements they're going to make, but that's it. Anywho, this were fun, and since we often talk about the good times we had when we were kids, and we got to go back a ways because you'll be 54 this year and I'll be 62. It's just unbelievable to think that these years have stacked up on us. But we had a childhood that I don't think can be equaled. Of course, we never knew our dad's parents. Our grandfather Ayres was born in 1825. He died in 1893. And our grandmother Ayres, she died in September 1918. I claim that I can remember her, a couple little instances, but nobody will believe it. So, anywho, most of our memories are of our mother's parents.
Mm-hmm.
The Tids at Augusta Springs, Virginia, on what was known as Brown Hill, and I mean this is really the country. But the whole gang of us, including the Henrys and the Tids and the Willets, we had some terrific summers there together when we could get together as a group. And what do you remember specifically?
Well, the first thing that run into my mind when you first started talking about this was we always liked it, and we've talked about it a number of times. And of course, the people that we're talking about now were at that time the older generation. Yeah. And now, by God, we are they.
Yeah.
As far as the older,
Yeah.
generous, whatever it is.
Yep.
We got older all of a sudden, is what it was, and all of a sudden we're the older people. And it's amazing, it went kind of fast.
It sure did.
By golly, it got fast.
Yeah.
And now, our own kids, then of course, you and Shirley are grandma and grandpas.
7 times.
There you go. So the people we were starting to talk about earlier are now what we are now.
Yeah.
What we thought we are now. So this is the first thing I thought of. But yeah, as far as have a good, as far as kids growing up, I don't think we could have asked for any more. I don't mean that we had that much money, but the good times. There were a lot of things that other people in our same age had problems with. My dad, our dad, was real good as far as keeping a job, and he could take a dollar and get about $20 out of it somehow.
Yeah.
And if he wanted to save money, it's not that we gave up or that we got everything we wanted, and it wasn't we have to do without too much. But by God, he could keep money. I don't know how he did it. I really don't know it. He should have wrote a book about it. But like I say, other kids in our time had to go an awful lot for the depression. Yeah, we knew it was there, but we all got to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Our clothes were always
Clean.
green.
We had a few patches and some darn socks and
Sure.
some shoes that were half soled. And
We didn't know anybody else that didn't.
That's right.
At least that.
We ate stewed tomatoes and bread. I forget
Bread
what.
and water, or milk and
Milk and toast, milk
yeah.
toast they called it.
Yeah.
We had that for meals on occasion, and
By God, we must have made it all right.
we did fine.
Yeah. So we made out all right. And so our as far as being kids, funny or for
Morning.
happiness,
Yeah.
we had it.
Yeah.
There was a couple ideas I had to say there, but I don't know what the hell it is yet. Can you take that and take it back about half a second?
Well, I think we had we grew up in a good home, and I've always felt that there was a strictness about both parents, which I think was good, and we just didn't get told to do something if we deserved punishment. Dad, as I recall, only did it a couple of times when we were small.
I got out of that. Somehow, I got out of that.
Mom took care of most
Yeah,
of
she
it.
did a pretty good job of it.
She sure did. She'd get that switch or that
Yeah.
whatever.
I was always kind of glad we got away from that I got away from Pop. But,
Yeah.
But Mom did a pretty good job of it. It was one of those situations of, I don't think we could have asked for any more. In fact, old Vance one time mentioned, of course they had it rough,
Yeah.
comparatively for money.
Yeah.
And they said, hey, we were the only people that they knew of that had a car.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised.
That's
I don't know how-
1926.
That's right. And I don't know how he did it, how Pop did it.
I don't either.
On into 32,
Yeah.
he did it. So we did all right that, and we ate, and we had a nice house, and we had clothes. A couple of times I wish they could have been able to have talked to me a little bit more about people in the other, on the outside of our hometown, because I was a little bit on the naive, say, side. But I guess somebody has to. I can't say it was bad.
Yeah.
In a way, it was kind of nice that you could at one time, and still can if you know people, trust people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's all that missing.
Oh, it sure is. In those days, you could leave things out in the yard. You could leave your cars unlocked. There was no vandalism to speak of. The things that are happening today just weren't known then.
You know, this is, of course, I noticed, this is it. In living where I do, in a little town, some Prairie, which is pretty close to Madison, but we don't seem to have the problems that you had, as you Bob do, as Bob, and neither does Charlie, or that we do as that Charlie does.
Yeah.
You have her in the, both of you have it in the
Well, we live in highly congested areas.
Yeah.
Lots of people.
We all came from small towns. The two of you end up pretty big with the big ones. I kind of somehow it worked out that I end up in a smaller town, and I can still do some of this that you people can't.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of times we leave the car out, and it may not have the keys on it. In fact, I've done that a few times. We don't lock it, Or maybe if there was something real big in it, we might have think about it. But we haven't run into that problem. There are probably some vandalism around. We don't run into too much of it. But we're in like the smaller towns, we don't have problems. Thank God.
Yeah.
So yeah, you people, you and Charlie, and Bonnie and Shirley, you run into a lot of that. We haven't run into it. I'm kind of glad.
Yeah, I've got to admire you for being in a place like this too, away from the congestion and continuous noises and
Which we just had a little bit.
pollution. Yeah, we just had a little bit of noise. Sue's kind of noisy.
Is that what it is? But she won't talk to us.
She's chicken.
Okay. Yeah. She won't talk
We don't
to
want
us.
to eat now. We just eat. Cool it.
So anyway, yeah, we're getting down to it, and here comes Shirley, and so I guess it's about time we're going to talk anyway.
They're still talking?
Hey, we talked it off and listened to it and went back it.
Everything they hear by now, and
Thanks.
Bye.